Football Manager's a game of pain, but I don't think more Football Manager-based pain has ever been assembled in one video than this one. You sent in the worst losses you've ever had on FM, and the top 3 at the end are actually mind-bendingly painful. But we start with Tomek, who was up 3-0 in the 90th minute of an online save, and I think you know where this is headed. It was an early goal from Federico Valverde, then Victor Osimhen and Ousmane Dembele in the 87th to give their Wolfsburg team a comfortable 3-0 win. Quite the team, by the way, with Osimhen, Füllkrug, Leao, Valverde, Lucas Torreira, Ousmane Dembele, Alphonso Davies is here. But it didn't matter, because Dortmund scored not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 goals from the 90th minute onward to steal a 4-3 win. It's not the last time I'm going to say this in this video, but yikes. Next, we have famed YouTuber Macwell's submission, a 9-0 defeat at the hands of Tulane with Pitt. But the real violation here is using one of those databases of which I helped create one that turns college American teams into clubs in FM. Because these are American universities, and it just feels wrong to see them in this context. But losing 9-0 to your friend, ugh. The Liverpool Groove. This was ridiculous. Former player scoring his first goal for his new club that ends up being the winner. Danny Ward in goal making more saves than shots on target. On the left side, we have Southampton. 44 shots, 21 on target. 3 clear-cut chances, 63% possession. The corners 27-2 over Luton Town, who's on the other side, but we'll work our way back up. 0 clear-cut chances, 0.64 XG, 4 shots on target, 7 shots, 1-0 Luton Town. 44 shots in 5.4 XG, 0 goals. Frederick Addick, as in addicted to Football Manager, name checks out. This was in my Malaga save. 5th season in the top flight, and I finally thought I'd got the better of Real Madrid. Needed just to win against bottom of the league on the last day to win my first La Liga title. And then this happened. I started a new save soon after. I am not a big fan of the quitting mentality, but 36 shots to 8 and 13 shots on target to 2 while still managing to lose 2-1 is pain. But hey, at least you scored a goal. That's better than the last guy didn't even score a goal. Ethan, CM, was in the championship playoff spaces that season. Went on a great run in the Carabao. City was all over me, to be honest. It was just that little hope of penalties that my defenders started passing around the back. You know the rest. Bitter pill to swallow that game. So this is an underdog situation. We have somebody managing Huddersfield Town against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup, and you're looking for that magic moment. You're having a great season in the championship. You're thinking maybe you can pull off the all-time upset in the Carabao Cup final. It's 1-0 Manchester City from this Ruben Diaz goal until Marquinhos scores in the 90th minute to equalize for Huddersfield Town. You're looking at penalties directly in the face. Your defense is passing the ball around the back, but you still have the ball, and then they give it away, and then they win 121st minute. In the final, Rodrigo scores. I would have closed my laptop, lit it on fire, and thrown it out the window. That's the only appropriate response to that. After a red card in the 107th, too, I didn't even notice that until now. Oh, he got a card. Oh. D-Bola. FM22 during the title run-in. Lost the title by 1 point, if my memory holds correct. Oh, he was a man up. No, he was a man up. What? It's Arsenal at Burnley. Classic, annoying, tough away match in the Prem. Dominant statistically, 2.53 XG to 0.32. 2 disallowed goals, which sandwich a red card for Moreno. And then in the 90th minute, you know, the streets will remember type player, Sardar Azmoun's the guy to score. The Iranian superstar scores it for Burnley. And that ends up deciding the title. This video is going to make me nauseous. Tom Francis. Not a loss, but how did I not win this? 68 shots. 68 shots. 68 shots. 68 shots. 68 in 1 goal. Andorra had 1 shot and 1 goal. Honestly, this is basically the only way this would ever happen in real life. I guess this is realistic. 68. Ben, I have 2. All right, we'll assess them both. The worst FMing ever, with their winner being a double deflection. This is when Ares stunk too, so it made it worse. Oh, it's the 90th minute now. Okay, so he loses 1-0 at Ares. Outshoots them 25 2-1, and the one shot is apparently a 90th minute double deflection to lose. Right when you're pushing to win the match, a 90th minute double deflection to lose. Bingo. That's Football Manager on the nose. The second one, from a long-term online save where we restructured 4 divisions combining New Caledonia and Vanuatu. Naturally, me, Tiga Sport, casually threw away a 4-1 lead. This just feels like one that would stick around in your mind because it happened against your friends. But yes, up 4-1 at halftime. To lose 5 to I went into this thinking you were going to draw. No, you were up 4-1 at halftime and you managed to lose it 5-4, including an 89th minute winner. It was never going to be the 72nd minute, was it? Only toast. First season in the Prem with Northampton. Squad was injury stricken and were really just needing points. 0 points and ruined my next run of fixtures. Both straight reds were extended to 3 matches and Sharing was out for 3 weeks. I have a feeling this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. On the road with Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. In the 20th minute, we have our first red card. 24th minute, Rashford penalty. 31st minute, second red card. That's 2 red cards in the first 31 minutes. 3 more goals before halftime. It's 4-0 at halftime. Throw the water bottle, obviously. Sharing gets hurt in the 51st minute, which means you've already made 3 subs. You've had subs forced by each of the red cards, I would assume, and then a sub forced by the injury in the 51st minute. You are now out of substitution windows, and then Moke gets a red card in the 54th minute, and you kind of just have to wing it with who's on the field and concede 4 more goals and lose 8-0, and the game clearly hates you. But the best part about that one is it lingered for weeks. You can get FM'd within one game in a way that lasts a lifetime. Martino packed it in for several months. I feel like a lot of the people that have put submissions in for this decided to take a little break from the game after this happened to them. Now this is beautiful. Just look at that XG story. It tells you everything you need to know. First shot of the match, Orion. Next 32 shots, Opatij. 3.21 XG. What is kind of wild here, you only had 39% possession. They can't even use the old Jose Mourinho line because they took the ball home and they took the 3 points. Now, how does that make you feel? Tony Deliberatore. Nothing quite like getting FM to ruin your day, except for this video, which is hopefully making your day. So that's cool. They're managing Tottenham, which obviously they were going to make an appearance in this video. Look, it wasn't even it's like not even a joke anymore, okay? Whatever. The real piece de resistance to this is not only the fact that Wolves had 1 shot and 1 goal and Tottenham had over 2.5 XG, it's that they scored in the 88th minute and then in the 92nd Tottenham scored and it was disallowed. So you got to experience a disallowed goal as well in stoppage time that could have at least saved you a point at home. But who needs those, right? Not me. Salve got beat 8-1 by Norwich and 1 month later beat City 6-1. This is 1 season after I got promoted with Leicester. So this is a beautiful illustration of what Football Manager is capable of. On the road in Great Yarmouth against Norwich, losing 8-1, losing 3-1 at home to Aston Villa. Turn the form around. Got out some wins against Leeds, Brentford, a flying win at Newcastle, morale is high, and you smoke Manchester City 6-1. So you got destroyed against Norwich, and then I feel like Pep Guardiola is the one that submitted this coaching Manchester City. Am I incorrect in that feeling? Also, Pep, why are you Norwegians looking for the next Holland? We have to stop it. Matthew, recent one from a few months ago. Prob's most haunted I've ever been from a result. From 4-0 up at home to an absolute collapse away from home in the second leg. I was waiting for us to get to the aggregate nightmares because those can get nightmarish. This is Manchester. Oh, it's the Manchester Derby. It's the Manchester Derby up 4-0 at home. And look at the XG for this match. It's basically dead even. But he doesn't score. Oh, it was all in the second half. It's all in the second half. That's unbelievably painful. 48th, 64th, 69th, 77th, penalty shootout. You missed 3 of your first 4 penalties. Your team just wasn't, your team just wasn't there. They forgot to show up. Crampy. 6-1 up in the first leg. Nothing could possibly... No way. 6-1 up in the first leg in the round of 16 of the Champions League. Goes on the road. Bro, you must have been sweating early because it was 3-0 in 9 minutes. It was 4-0 at halftime. And then they managed to score the last 2 goals that they needed to win. mean, shoot, it was 5-0 in 49 minutes. This is one of those matches you plug in and play in FM, and you immediately know that all of the voodoo is against you. Mercury's in retrograde. The stars are aligned for your countersign or whatever the hell any of that means. And you are in for a very bumpy ride. Still not as bad as our top 3, but nasty work. Therapy. I guess that's what they needed after this match. I don't know what's more painful from this, the actual game or the photo of it. This person's got the photo on the wall lifting weights like, excellent motivation. That was the worst joke of the entire video. Okay, it only can get better from here. The match itself, 4.13 XG in the Bosnian Cup, so we're playing on a database here, against 0.34. But the real beauty is that despite the nonsense and a disallowed goal in the 103rd minute, the FMing team misses their first penalty. Then Rafael AI, shout out, and 2 other guys score their penalties, meaning that it is 3-3 going to the 4th penalty taker. All they need to do is score out, and then they missed. And then the bad XG team missed again, which meant there was a penalty from Bozakovic to win the entire thing. They had the lead for the second time, missed again. Nothing is more dangerous than hope. Gabe, not a loss, but painful nonetheless. 32 shots to 3, 4.54 XG to 0.02. How do you have 2 shots on target and 0.02 XG? That's just insult to injury. How have you managed that? Of course, their goal was an own goal by world-class defender Gonzalo Inacio, and you missed a penalty, and had 3 goals disallowed, and Pedro Porro got hurt. Weirdly, they also had 2 goals disallowed with their monstrous 0.02 XG, so who the hell knows what's going on there? Eiffel, final day of the Premier League. Needed a draw to stay up. Oh, this is gonna make me sad. This is gonna make me sad. Oh, the score was 6-5. They're Hull City. They take the early lead, then they go behind 3-1 in 22 minutes, bring it back to 3-2 before halftime, tie it right out of the half at 3-3. Abdulkader Amir gets a goal to go up 4-3. Then it's 4-4. Then it's 5-4 in the 82nd minute. And so if you're Hull, you're thinking you're home free. You just need a point to survive. 2 minutes later, they score to equalize. And in the 93rd minute, Brighton scores to knock you down to the championship. I would have cried. I would have cried. In a manly way. MC, utterly humiliating. I also lost 8-0 in a playoff final to QPR once, but I can't find the score. Well, that sucks, but here we go. To lose 11-0 in a Super Cup, by the way. So first match of the season. Way to set the tone, lads. 11-0, and you only gave up 2.5 XG. The XG gap was barely 1, and you lose 11-0. You need to call the FM gods. You need to get the line. Princess. This was my first game I played in FM24. Felt so good to be back. Oh, hell yeah, man. Arsenal at home against Celta Vigo. 34 shots to 6. 3.59 XG to 0.54. Scored 1 goal. Red card. Then they scored another goal. And then just to, drop the cherry on top of the sundae, a missed penalty from Bukayo Saka in the 79th minute. What is this, the Euros final? Just kidding. I love the way he's bounced back as a penalty taker, and it's a great human interest story. But it did not help them here. It's rare that you can claim an FMing on 2-0, but yes. Isco the lemon. Oh no. We have Benfica against Dinamo Zagreb here. Vitinha scores for Benfica. Then Zagreb scores. Then Zagreb gets a red card. Then Benfica scores. Then Zagreb scores the incredibly dramatic penalty to make it 2-2 while down a man. Then takes the lead, so you're going absolutely nuts. Then goes behind by a goal in stoppage time and scores in the 121st minute to force penalties, which of course they lose. If you could turn this emotional roller coaster into an actual roller coaster, it would be the nastiest one on the planet. I think by the end of this match, my heart rate would have been about 250. Ilya Babanski. This game had everything. Great goals. Inexplicable errors. 4 stoppage time goals. Heartbreak from Inter de Limeira at the end with the first loss of the year. So they're managing Inter de Limeira, and they're going up against Sao Paulo in the top flight in Brazil. Take the lead in the 52nd. Sao Paulo answers in the 54th. Then a 57th, 69th minute goal for Inter de Limeira to make it 3-1. Sao Paulo scores to make it 3-2. But then in the 91st minute, Andre Bahamondes scores to make it 4-2 for Inter de Limeira, who've dominated the match. 23 shots to 10, 2.66 XG to 1.45. Except Sao Paulo scores not 1, not 2, but 3 goals in stoppage time after Inter de Limeira's goal in stoppage time to steal a 5-4 win and complete this Bruno guy's hat trick. This is why I still pause to make those time-wasting changes. Even when it feels like it's impossible the other team can come back, they can. And it's FM. They will. That's maybe the best lesson you can take from this video is pause to make that extra change with a few minutes left. You never know when this is cooking. Now we have Zero Phobos, who's actually submitted a video. So here we go. The final score is 3-1, and I'm assuming, obviously, that Zero Phobos is on the losing side here. But apparently the particular pain here comes with the way their second goal was scored to take the lead. And the fact he didn't even dribble it in, he just takes it first time and scores a worldie. Where's the sportsmanship here? I mean, you gotta stop the play. Where's the sportsmanship? Only 3 more left until we hit our top 3. Liam, most painful loss ever. Scored in the 121st. Thought it was over and we won. Then they scored the final goal in the 123rd. City didn't even face a Prem team to get there. We beat Liverpool and Tottenham. I like how they include like every single piece of painful beef. You score in the 121st minute of the FA Cup final, and then they score in the 123rd and beat you in penalties. Yeah, you need a week reset. You need to log off the game. You need to go outside, look at the sun, touch a bit of grass, reprogram everything, let all of the chakras settle, and then come back and open up that computer again. TK was 120-something unbeaten. Was 120-something unbeaten. Def not my worst, but only one in my camera roll. Look, if you are 120-something unbeaten, and then you lose after out-XGing the opponent by more than 4, I mean, clearly you've built the greatest team of all time in this save. And you go behind 2-0. Oh, they got a red card in the 47th. And he missed a pin and had 2 goals disallowed. I mean, if you're over 120 unbeaten, you're obviously going to be a dominant team. So the only way you're going to lose, I'm guessing, is just being FM'd. But it's still just excruciating when that 1 in 1,000 roll hits. That'll sink your D&D game. Chip. This nearly killed me. Yeah, a lot of these have checked that box tonight. Blythe Spartans in the Champions League final take a 1-0 lead into the half. Then 2-0, then 3-0 from Godfred Tofic. We know where this is going. Blythe Spartans all the way in the Champions League final. And Ajax scores in the 80th, in the 82nd, and then in the 92nd. But we're not done because David Kraljevic gets a penalty in the 95th for Blythe Spartans to win the Champions League, and he bricks it. And then you lose in penalties. Oh, the humanity. But now for the third worst loss that I saw looking through every reply of this tweet from Gabby. 4 shots, never leave a match early. And I appreciate them putting this message in there for people that sim matches or leave them early and sim the rest. This can happen to you. Aston Villa, up 3-1 thanks to a Tammy Abraham hat trick going into the 90th minute against Derby. Totally dominant, 77% possession, 22 shots to what would end up being 4, but at this point, they've only taken 1 shot. That's because Derby was saving its other 3 shots. In the 90th minute, it was Sonny Bradley with the second shot of the game for Derby. Then Reece with his second shot of the game and the third shot of the entire game for Derby. And then in the court, the 96th minute, Derby scores again to take a 4-3 lead and a hat trick from Tyrese Forna on the 4th shot for Derby. Apparently, Villa's goalkeeper is just an actual slice of Swiss cheese. The only thing that keeps us from being higher on the list for absolute absurdity is the fact that they scored in the 97th minute to force a replay. Idan Toklomati pulls it out of the fire for Villa. I believe this is still in a world where replays exist. The second most brutal defeat ever on FM from Jackson. Nothing will ever top this for me. Second leg of the UCL semifinal. They go into it with an aggregate lead of 6-0 over Aston Villa. And if you're thinking, no way, yes way. We had a 6-1 earlier, but a 6-0, and you score a goal in the second leg. Benfica scored 1. The problem is Aston Villa scores 8 goals, and they do it on 2.47 XG, while Benfica dropped 1.54. They're right in this match. And of course, the 7th goal that ended up sending this to extra time, an own goal. It had to be. It had to be an own goal. But it still can't top the worst beat that we've seen on Football Manager this year. Anywhere. We've scoured the planet. And this is the worst beat because this person's managing Luleå against Malmö in Sweden, and they got a hat trick from their team in the wrong net. Teemu Takala Självmål scores an own goal hat trick to lose the game against Malmö, a game that Luleå actually controlled in terms of possession and shots on target. But no, Teemu Takala Självmål solved a problem here because Malmö didn't have a single shot on target and managed to score 3 goals because this guy scored an own goal hat trick. Check his bank account. Match fixing. It's match fixing to get the worst result of the year. Has to be. There's the only logical explanation. Get the police involved. Give him his name. Even with the special characters, give him his name. That is beyond maddening, beyond unique in terms of ways that Football Manager is able to torture you, and the worst beat of a lot of awful beats that we've seen in this video. Thank you so much to everybody that replied to the tweet. There's a ton more there. If you go to the tweet, you can scroll down and read all of them. There's horror story after horror story. It's great. But if you want something uplifting after this, I might be streaming, so I'll see you on Twitch, or this is the FM Puskas Award, the Pushkas Award for correct pronunciation, right? Best goal of the year scored on Football Manager, right there. And a whole lot of other good ones, obviously. It's quite nice.